Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Let me know in the chat section if I'm audible. Okay, we'll start today's session. So we are going to discuss about exam do's and don'ts and how to manage the time in your exam. Because you'll have 2 hours of time and we will have to know how to manage the time during the exam. Okay. I'm audible, right? I have not received any chat messages yet. Am I audible? Yes. Okay. Fine. So we will see how to manage your time in these 2 hours. It is very important that whatever you have prepared, you have to make sure that you are spending enough time properly for your exam, right? So here, how many of you are taking MBA and how many are taking MCA exam? Just put it in the chat. So I have told you for both MBA and MCA exams, I'll be telling you what is the time management strategy that you need to follow in the exams so that you're not missing out on any questions which you had prepared well and to get the better results. So first thing, all of you know, exam is for 100 marks, right? So all the students, okay, so we have MBA, MCA, most of you, I believe, are for MBA. Okay, we have equally MCA and MBA. Great. Oh, we have more MCA students watching the video now. Right. Okay. So we will discuss for both this, and some of you, I believe, are taking both MBA and MCA, right? So now we will discuss on for MBA, this 2 hours, how much time you have to spend, and for MCA, how much time needs to be spent. So we will split the time and accordingly, we'll see how much time would be required. So now, how many marks is your exam? Is for 100 marks, isn't it? 100 marks, and you will have 120 minutes. That is 2 hours of time, which will have 120 minutes. So for MBA students, you will have 100 questions. MBA students will have 100 questions, whereas MCA students will have 80 questions. You will have 80 questions. So out of this 100 questions, each one is of 1 mark each. Whereas in the 80 questions, you have a split of 60 and 20. 60 questions are of 1 marks. I'm sure all of you are aware of this. And then 20 questions are of 2 marks. So how you need to manage the strategy is different for this MBA and MCA students. Okay, so now let us understand basically what all sections will be there in MBA. I'm sure if you have already watched our tips for exam tips video, you will know how the section split is done for MBA as well as MCA. I have explained in detail. So for MBA students, you have 4 sections. First section that you need to focus on is that, and all of you know that the answer is OMR sheets, right? OMR sheets. Yes, mock exam right after this session. I will share the mock exam with you. Okay, so here for MBA students and MCA students, when you're practicing mock exam, I want you to practice in OMR sheet only, because it's not just ticking the answer. You know, you have 4 circles out of which you need to block it properly. So you will have A, B, C, D. You will have to block a complete circle. A complete circle needs to be properly blocked. Okay, complete circle needs to be properly blocked. Here, humans are not going to correct. They are going to scan your sheets through an OMR reader and OMR scanner. So in that, when it is scanned, the matching of pattern is very important. This, whichever circles matches the pattern, that is considered as a correct answer. If it does not match the pattern, it is considered as a wrong answer. So for it to be considered to be correct option, you have to block it properly. You shouldn't do it extra, like, okay, so something like this, if you do in a hurry, if you're marking, if your blocking goes out of the circle, it is considered as a wrong pattern. Sometimes it will be considered as a wrong pattern, and there is no revaluation option also here, right? So make sure that you're circling properly, and your circling should also be not incomplete of this way. This is very important. Many students, what they do is they'll mark all the questions, they'll mark all the answers, and they think, okay, I'm going to mark all the options in the OMR sheet in the end. Right now I'll answer all the questions, and in the question paper they would have put tick mark for the options, and they think, okay, in the end I'm going to spend some 10-15 minutes for marking this answer. It is very easy to lose track of time in your exam, because some questions will be such that you have practiced, say for example, time and work or matrices and determinants. You have practiced it so well that you know that question also, you don't want to leave that question, and when you start solving, maybe you do some little mistake and then you don't get the any one of the 4 options, you get some other answer, so now you go back and check your answer. So this will take like 5-6 minutes of your time, and in the end you will have lack of time. So to make sure you're not losing track of your time, it's extremely important to manage the time properly. And in such situations, if you keep this marking to the end, then chances of marking a wrong answer for a different question, or doing this type of mistake where your blocking is not proper and losing marks because of this is more. So make sure you are not keeping it to the end. I'll tell you how to mark. Okay, I'll tell you how to mark, and make sure you're marking it immediately. Just a second. Yes. So don't keep it to the end. Now for MBA students, you have 4 sections. What are the 4 sections? GK. I'm writing it in this order because I want you to solve the questions in this order. GK, English, logical reasoning and data interpretation. And then we have the quantitative aptitude. These are the 4 sections. Make sure you first answer GK. This is the first one that you need to answer, because in GK, either you know it or you don't know. That's it, right? There are no question which you need to think, you need to solve. If you think a little bit, then you will get the answer. Nothing like that, isn't it? In GK, either you know it or you don't know. So make sure all whatever you know, mark it immediately. Whatever you don't know, don't be under the impression that I will mark it later. I will ask my adjacent student when the invigilator is not looking at me. So let me keep some questions to the end, and I will decide later and solve. Don't have that opinion at all. You will not have enough time to come back to the questions that you have not attended. See, 100 questions, you have 120 minutes, right? So let us assume for marking that 100 OMR, see, there are 100 circles that you have to block. Let us assume 20 minutes goes, 100 plus 20 minutes goes in just marking. but we are not keeping the final 20 minutes for marking. We are going to mark it then and there, but we will assume 20 minutes overall, 20 minutes goes for marking 100 circles, right? You have this 100 minutes only for solving. So approximately you will have 1 minute per question. And every question does not need 1 minute. Many questions are such that, especially in direction, sense and all, there are questions which you can solve in less than 20 seconds. So if you're solving the questions that way, the time that you're saving here can be used for questions under aptitude, which takes more time. So solving, you have approximately 1 minute per question. So this 20 minutes is only for marking. Now, keep this in mind that you're not taking more than 1 minute for any question. That is approximately. Okay. So here, you will not have time to come back to the questions that you have not answered, especially in GK section. So first thing that you need to answer is GK. Whatever questions you know, mark it. Whatever you don't know, just think a little bit and mark some random answer, because there is no negative marking. Since there is no negative marking, you're not losing anything on marking an answer. Max to max, you're taking 25% chances are there, right? That your answer is correct. So take a chance, mark all the answers. And for this 25 questions, there are 25 questions here, correct? For this 25 questions, you should not take more than 20 minutes. You should take only 20 minutes for this 25 questions, including the marking. Okay, so first 20 minutes, you should be able to answer this 25 questions and circle them all as well. So 20 minutes, you should have finished GK section and then go to the next section, which is English. In English, there are certain questions which you know, and some of the things maybe you will have to think a little bit. For example, sentence correction. Sentence correction based questions, you might have to think little bit before you mark the answer, but even then it doesn't take more than 1 minute. And then there are some questions like synonyms and antonyms. I am sure if you are a member, you would have already watched the English videos that I have posted under members section for PGCET MBA. This is accessible for MCA as well. You have these antonyms, synonyms, one word substitution. There are certain techniques for you to figure out. The vocabulary is very vast, right? You won't be able to know all the words in the world. For you to know what all words are there with similar meaning, what all words are there with opposite meaning, you will not be able to find out, right? So there are certain techniques. You can break down the words, and you will be able to know for which type of words what opposite word needs to be used. Say, for example, you have obedience. For that, what is the antonym word or opposite word? Is it disobedience or unobedience? This word all of you know, because it is a very common word. So there are some questions where there are certain words where opposite word can be with dis, can be with un, can be with im, right? When you're writing an opposite word. For example, possible, you have impossible. You do not have unpossible, or dispossible is not there. For obedient, it is disobedient. For patient, it is impatient. For aware, it is unaware. When to use which word? When to use which word for getting an opposite word? There are certain techniques. These techniques are explained in those videos. So go through those videos. They're very informative. Might be slightly boring for you because entire 1.5 hours they're talking about English words, but it is very interactive. I have uploaded the recorded sessions of other batches where you will also hear students giving answers. So it's very interactive. And the faculty also has explained with lot of example sentences, and where it is wrong and where it is right. Okay. So such techniques you might have to think little bit and solve. And there are certain questions where you don't know the word that is given in the question. Suppose they have asked you, which of the following word is the antonym of this word? You don't know what is that word also. You have never ever heard of it. And you're not aware of any of the options also. In such case, there is no point in wasting time in thinking, isn't it? So in English, there are certain questions which, as soon as you see the question, you will know the answer. There are certain questions which needs a little bit of thinking. And there are certain questions which you absolutely do not know the answer. So think where you have to spend time. For that, when you solve many questions, you take a mock exam, you will understand it better. Okay. Here, this should be the one that you answer second. The second section that you answer is this. For this, you should not take more than 25 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes for the first section, including marking. 25 minutes for the second section, again, including marking. 5 minutes extra is because there are few questions which you might have to think a little bit. So your 45 minutes is gone here. Okay, so 45 minutes is gone in the first two sections, and you would have answered 50 marks. Now comes your logical reasoning and data interpretation. Logical reasoning and data interpretation. In this, you have questions which are very simple, like your blood relations and direction sense. You might be able to get the answer in less than half minute. And if the questions like your seating arrangements and under data interpretation, you have tables. If you have watched yesterday's video, I don't know, yesterday in the live session, we had few members from the group, not all of them had joined. If you're watching now, make sure you watch yesterday afternoon's live video. In that, we have solved data interpretation questions where we have a table, and we will have 5 questions following that, and we are supposed to answer those 5 questions. Go through that. So here in logical reasoning, seating arrangements will take some time. Like there are 7-8 people sitting in a circular way, so or you have like 8 people sitting in 2 rows facing each other. So this kind of questions, making that arrangement will take time. But even if you're taking say 4 to 5 minutes of time for arrangement, there are 4 questions that are following it. So it is worth the time spending in that arrangement, because when you're doing this arrangement, don't think you're spending that 5 minutes for doing that seating arrangement. It is time consuming. Don't think that way, because that 5 minutes that you're spending is for the next 4 questions together. All these 4 questions you'll be able to solve immediately once you do the arrangement properly. So do it peacefully. Do this seating arrangements peacefully. Okay, so it is okay to spend 4 to 5 minutes on doing that seating arrangements, so that the next 4-5 questions you can mark it in 1 minute. And then coming to data interpretation, you have tabular, pie chart kind of data. There is a table or a pie chart given, and then you have 4-5 questions given after this. Did I miss MCA tips? Just came. No, I have been giving tips for MBA. I will shortly start giving tips for MCA. You have not missed anything. Okay, so and only this logical reasoning and data interpretation, maybe you can watch little of maybe from 2-3 minutes before. So data interpretation, here you should not spend much time, because every question needs calculation. Okay, you are taking the data from a table. There is some common data given for all the 4-5 questions. Here, every question, you should not, all the questions are based on percentages. Okay, all data interpretation questions, you should know percentages and average and ratio, nothing else. If these 3 concepts are clear, then you will be able to solve data interpretation questions. And it shouldn't be taking much time also. Yesterday we have done one question that if you solve most of the question will be of that type only. So please go to that yesterday's video and watch it. Now, logical reasoning and data interpretation, there is one particular type of question which you should not attempt at all. Trust me, it's worth skipping this question. I think yesterday 2 students had asked me also in WhatsApp to explain to solve this type of question. I'm not sure if that student is right now watching. You have some numbers, and then these are called as magic squares. So some number will be missing here, and you're supposed to find what it is. This type of questions, especially in your MBA and MCA paper, please do not attend. Please do not try to solve, because most of those questions, it takes a lot of time. It's not easily crackable. In fact, all those people who have provided solution, if at all you find explanation for this kind of solution from previous year's question papers, in any website or any book, they would have tried to build a logic after getting the answer key. Got it? So in the answer key, they would have given what is the answer, say option C, whatever. Now, based how to get that option. So the answer key or the explanation given in any internet online sources or in the textbooks or in the reference books for MBA, MCA based such max puzzle question is definitely done after getting the answer key. They would have tried to build an explanation to get to that answer key, to get to that answer. This is unnecessary. I think it is just a strategy to waste time. Don't solve that. Okay. That is why the student who had asked me that question, I did not respond to them because it is not solvable. Just mark some option. Okay. Mark some option and move on. That is for that magic square based questions. And then you have puzzle type of question wherein you will have some pattern and then you will have to find out, you will have some shaded regions and that will be moving. You'll have to find out what is the next shaded region. That you can take little time and solve it, but don't take too much time. Don't spend too much time on that. Overall, for logical reasoning, for 25 questions, you should be solving it in 30 minutes. This should be our third preference. You should not take more than 30 minutes. Understood? So 45 minutes are done in your first and second question, first and second section. Logical reasoning and data interpretation, you have 25 questions and you should not take more than 30 minutes to solve this logical reasoning and data interpretation. And this how to solve questions under LRDI is common for MCA students also. If you have that magic square, skip that, just mark some option. Don't try to solve that. Even if it looks tempting, even if it looks solvable, don't try because it's going to take a lot of time. And don't even try to do that. Or maybe if you're interested in solving, you can keep that question to the end. And if you have time in the end, you can solve. So even if you are running out of time, you can mark something in the end. So that is for your logical reasoning and data interpretation. Is it clear so far? Right? So here you are taking 30 minutes. Now, how much time is left in 2 hours? This should be your last section that you attend. How much time is left? Total, you have 2 hours, right? So 45 minutes and 30 minutes are done. So you have another 45 minutes for QA section. Understood? So here, 45 minutes for QA section. Now, if you're spending 2 minutes extra in GK, you have to make sure you're spending 2 minutes less in English. Don't use the less time here. And see, this is approximation. And I am sure all of you are aware, you're not supposed to carry smartwatch. You know that, right? You cannot. Yes, I'll start about MCA now. You're not about to carry, you're not supposed to carry smartwatch. If you are carrying a smartwatch, they're going to ask you to remove it and keep it in the side. So carry a normal watch because you cannot keep asking the time from the faculty. So keep it ready. Do not spend more time on this. 20 minutes for GK, 25 minutes for English, including marking, 30 minutes for LR and DI. So here QA, you have 45 minutes. Even if you're taking some 5-minute extra from these 3 sections, you will still have at least 40 minutes. Minimum 40 minutes is required for your QA section. Here you have 25 questions. In this 25 questions, there will be some 5 to 6 questions which you can mark the answer. This QA instructions that I'm giving is common to MCA also. So here, there are certain questions which you can guess the answer. And I have always, is full sleeves allowed? Full sleeves is allowed, but it shouldn't have any foldings like in shirts or shirts. No, you have to wear it till here. You should not be folding it. They don't allow you to fold. Okay. So in QA, I have explained in many of the videos in PGCET playlist, you can see in many videos I have told the method to solve. Plus I have always been repeating this whenever you have a max question or a QA aptitude question where numericals are involved. First look at the options before you start solving. Many times the options from the seeing the question you will know answer is less than 5. But then when you look at the option, if there is only one option which is less than 5, you don't have to solve, right? You can directly mark the answer. That is a way to save the time. Suppose you have more than one option which is less than 5, then of course you have to solve. So make sure you are looking at the options before you start solving. See, these instructions are common for MBA and MCA. Okay. Look at the options before you start solving, because many options are such that you will be able to get the answer without actually solving. You'll be able to guess it correctly. So if it is not possible, then of course you can solve. So that is the first thing. So 5-6 questions will be there. Out of this 25, you will have 5 to 6 questions which you need not solve. By looking at the options, you will know and you can mark it. There will be 5-6 questions which takes more time. Like it might take 2-3 minutes time. And all the other 15 questions will be normal. You'll be able to solve in 1.5 minute. So 25 questions in 40 minutes, you can easily solve and you can mark all the options. So you do not have time to go back to the questions that you have left and then mark the think and mark the answer. There is no time for that. So first 20 questions done and dusted, then next 25 questions, and then next half an hour for LRDI, and then next 25 for QA. Now, how to mark the options? To mark the options, don't wait for all these 25 questions to be over to mark. Not necessary. That is left to you. You can finish this 25 questions, marking the answer in your question paper, and then you can mark all the 25 at once. That you can do, or 10 questions you would do. I would prefer 10 questions at once. First 10 questions you answer and then mark it off. Next 10 questions you answer and mark it off. So that is what I would prefer. Please do not keep it to the end, and also don't mark the answer for every question. So question number 1, go there and mark it, and then question number 2, mark it. That also you can do if you are quick. So that is about MBA, how to manage time. Okay. And then coming to MCA questions. So here in quantitative aptitude, I told you there are some 5 to 6 questions which will take more time, right? Which will take like 2-3 minutes of time for solving. Such questions you can keep it to solve in the end. Okay, so because you spend 3 minutes, 4 minutes on solving one question, and then there are some 2 questions which can be solved in less than 1 minute, but then you run out of time. Don't be in that impression. So coming back to the questions to solve it later can be done only under QA. Okay, only for QA section you can do it. If you have solved all these questions according to this time, if you have solved all the questions, you still have 40 to 45 minutes left, then you can, if there are lengthy questions in QA, you can keep it blank and then solve it later. Or if you have less time, then don't spend time for lengthy questions, just mark some answer and move on, because you will not have time to come back and solve. And be very, very careful when you're leaving a question and you want to come back to it later. Then be very clear that when you're marking, don't miss the gaps. Okay, like say for example, you have marked question number, this is 75, right? You have marked question number 81, 82 and 83 you will decide that you will mark later, and then you have solved 84. So 81 you have marked it, 82 and 83 both you have left it to solve, to be solved later. And then 84th question, when you're marking, since you're leaving 2 questions and then marking, make sure you're marking it correctly. Chances are that you will mark the next one, 84th answer, you're going to mark it in 82. So that is a mistake. Don't do that. Only if you're leaving a question and coming back to it later, make sure you're doing it properly. Okay, that is one. And then do not use pencil for marking. I have seen many students doing this. They think, okay, first I'll mark it in pencil, and then in the end I'll sit and block everything in pen. Don't do that. Once you mark the answer in pencil. After that, when you block it using ballpoint pen, it might not get printed properly. Don't do that. Okay. Use only pen and use only ballpoint pen. Don't use your ink pen. I mean, the what is that, fountain pen, or we have this marker pens. Don't do that. Use only ballpoint pen. Can be either blue or black only, not other colors. Only blue or black ballpoint pen you have to use. Okay. Now coming to MCA. So here you have 80 questions and you know how the split is. Split I have already explained. So you will have computer awareness for 25, and then that first section, which is max itself, you will have for 35 marks, 32 to 35 marks. And then GK you will have, I think, around 9 marks or so. English you will have, I think, for 12 marks. So this breakup I have already given. I have mentioned in that exam videos, or no, under members section, under PGCET MCA members section, I have the first video is that, which gives you exactly how many marks will be allotted for each section I have mentioned. So here you have only 2 sections. Okay, you have part A and part B. 2 sections are there. Part A has 60 questions and part B has 20 questions. Now you have 2 hours time, right? In this 2 hours, your mindset should be such that here for 60, here also you have to do the solving and mark it immediately, or 5 questions at once you solve and you mark it. So now for the 60 questions, 60 minutes will not actually be sufficient. You should not take more than 65 to 70 minutes, not more than that. 65 to 70 minutes, not more than that. That is by 1 hour 5 minutes or 1 hour 10 minutes is what you have to take, because in the 60 questions you will have a mixture of aptitude questions will be there. You will have few English questions, very few GK questions, and then you will have see, GK questions and English questions will not come under part B. Part B will have aptitude. Okay, it will have aptitude questions, and then you might have English questions like sentence correction kind of questions. And max, certain max questions will also be there. Okay, so under part B, not all questions are lengthy again, but most of the simple questions come under part A. Therefore, and logical reasoning questions, even that comes under part A. So make sure that you have to. Yes. Okay. So make sure you're not spending more than 1 hour 5 minutes or 1 hour 10 minutes for this part A. You have 60 questions. Every question does not require 1 minute of time. Most of the questions you'll be able to solve it in under 1 minute, less than 1 minute, like blood relations, GK questions, English questions, and all that. Excuse me. So along with marking, it should not be taking more than this time. Now let us assume 1 hour 10 minutes you are taking. Okay, 1 hour 10 minutes you are taking for the first section, including marking. This should include marking. Remember, don't think, okay, 70 minutes I have aramse for our first section and then mark. No, this includes marking. Now, after this 1 hour 10 minutes, in this 2 hours, you still have 40 minutes left. This 40 minutes is actually sufficient for 20 questions. For each question, approximately average, you will have 2 minutes time, but there are certain questions which you can solve in less than 2 minutes, and there are certain questions which will take more than 2 minutes to solve. If you are an MCA aspirant, if you are preparing for MCA exam, I have planned one live session at 11 o'clock today. Okay, in another 1 hour. At 11, we will have a live session for MCA Max. In that, I will give you even detailed explanation on how many, what all types of questions you have under part A and part B, which all types of questions you should not try solving and just mark the answer. And we will be able to analyze the time required, okay, for these sections. So 20 questions, 40 minutes is more than sufficient time. Few questions can be solved in 1.5 minute, and some of the questions will need 3 minutes of time, but still fine. Like questions like matrices, inverse might take more time. Questions based on trigonometry will not take more than 2 minutes of time. Conic sections and all, it will take very less time, less than 1 minute or 1.5 minute. That's all. So you will have enough time if you keep 40 minutes for this 20 questions. Okay. So this is how you need to allot your time for answering the question. Now, I gave some of the instructions that are common. Those who are, if you are joining the live session right now, also go through the tips that I have given for GK and English. You will know which type of question you have to solve it immediately, which type of questions you have to keep it for later. Okay. So here also for MCA students, you will have GK questions. You'll have less number of GK questions. Okay. Either you know it or you don't know. So don't keep it for solving later or marking it later. If you know, mark it. If you don't know, also mark something and move on. And most important thing, don't leave any question unanswered. Extremely important. Mark all answers. Okay. Mark answers for all questions. Mark all answers. Don't leave any question, because there is no negative marking by by not marking few questions. You're just losing the opportunity of getting more marks. So make sure you're marking all the answers, especially when you're solving QA section. Data interpretation not especially when you're solving QA section and the max questions under MCA. Make sure you are marking the correct answer. Most of the times we take a variable X and we solve it, we simplify, we get the value for X, and that will be one of the options. But many times they might have not asked what is that. They might have asked what is half of that value, what is twice that value, what is 4/5 of that value. That might be a question, right? So always make sure just before marking, you see what is required is what is your value that you have got, or do you have to make any changes for that value. It's extremely important to know that before marking. In spite of solving correctly, don't end up marking wrong answers. Okay. So be very sure of marking it. And then the final instruction related to stress. How many of you are stressed about the exam? How many of you are stressed about the exam, about ranking, about apparently like one student called me yesterday or day before yesterday. He said, ma'am, this time most students are attending the exam and I'm more tensed because most students are attending now. So getting good rank is difficult. So is there anyone who's stressed about the exam, about the ranking and all that? No one? Okay. So basically, what marks stressed about scoring in GK? Okay, Vinay, I'll tell you. Dhruva is also stressed. Huh, okay, fine. So one person is stressed about scoring in GK. There is another student stressed. How about others? Yes. Now, this is not very difficult like your IIT JEE mains, advanced or UPSC exams, nothing like that. Here, though the number of students who are writing exam are more, you have to understand how much marks you need. Keep that in mind. Okay. Worried about max. Okay. Then start practicing more. So here, basically, under MBA, if you're getting 60 plus, it is considered to be a very good score. Unfortunately, we will only know cutoff ranks of the colleges. The website does not release the marks scored by every student. That will not be released. So we will not know exactly what is the top scorers marks and all that. But my students, I have been doing this PGCET training from past 9 years. This is a 10th time. This is a 10th batch. This time I did not conduct a paid batch because I was occupied with various other things. So I just try to do as much as possible in my free time, in my available time. Today also I had a morning session which I had cancelled, and I am doing this. And I am keeping myself available for the entire day. So any doubts you people have, you send it in WhatsApp to me. I will post the solutions. Okay. 60 plus is a good score for MBA students. And 40 plus is a decent score. Okay. 40 plus is a decent score. Less than 40 is not a good score. Now, you will see absolutely there is zero reason to worry about GK or English, right? That is the reason I have been focusing more on QA, logical reasoning and data interpretation from the beginning of this classes. Here itself, if you are carefully solving, here itself you can solve 50 marks, isn't it? You can get 50 marks from these two sections because here you know what is the answer, you know the techniques, you will be able to solve and get the answer. Whereas English, can you make Max Video public for which for membership? That I won't be able to do because there are many students who have paid for membership, right? Like if I'm making that public, it will be a disrespect for those students. Yes. There'll be one Max important questions discussion that is scheduled at 11 o'clock. That is available for everybody. That is a public video. You can watch that. Okay. And it is just 159 rupees. So it's not a big amount. You're going to pay lakhs of rupees as fees, right? 159 rupees is literally nothing for the time that I'm giving you all these instructions and all. I don't think it is a big money for you to spend. Okay, so these two sections, when you're marking 50 marks, when you're sure about this, 50 marks you have already scored. I'm sorry, I wrote 40 plus, no, here, 50 plus. 50 plus is decent score for MBA, not 40. I'm sorry. 50 plus is decent score. 40 is itself less than average. Here, even if there is 1 mark difference, with a 2 marks difference, one of my students, a couple of students, last batch, had a difference of 2 marks, and they had a difference of 400 ranks. Okay, with just 2 marks of difference, they had a difference of 400 rank. 400 plus was the difference in ranking. So every mark is definitely important. So don't leave any question. Mark all the questions. Who knows, like there might be some 5, 6 questions which you don't know what it is, but luckily it is correct. That is possible. But what is in your control is this 50 marks, right? This 50 marks is in your control. You can mark that. In this English section also, under your membership, I have uploaded the videos. In that, you will, if you follow those videos, if you follow the instructions given in those videos, out of this English 25 marks, you will know answers for 15 questions for sure. I mean, you might know the answers for around 10 questions, and remaining 15 questions, when you are guessing, yeah, if you don't know the answer and you are guessing using the explanation given in those verbal aptitude videos, then at least 10 of them might be right. Chances of your guesses being right is more if you watch those videos. Okay. Here, out of 20, I think you can get 20. I mean, out of 25, you can score 20 marks. Out of GK is what you are doubtful. So, and one more student asked me yesterday about current affairs, what to study under current affairs. See, if you are not strong in QA, LRDI, and in English, my strong suggestion and order for you is don't look at can you make video about good colleges in Bangalore? Definitely we will make it after the exam. Once the exam is over, we will discuss about cutoff ranks among various colleges in various cities. And I will also explain videos and about which are good colleges are there in different cities. And for both MBA as well as MCA. And we will also be discussing on how to select your options. Once your ranking is announced, how to select, you will have 10 options. You can choose 10 colleges. How to select those colleges, how to choose your specializations. All that guidance will be provided, don't worry. Okay. So GK in this 25, I have already shared one PDF which has 5,000 questions. Don't refer to 1,000 different sources. That is sufficient. And you solve the previous, you go through the answers of previous year's question papers of GK. You will be knowing some 10, 12 questions you might know, and current affairs you might get 3 or 4 questions. It's not worth spending time now. At this point in time, don't spend time on current affairs and all that. Just go through those GK questions that I have shared as much as possible and go through the previous year's questions. Again, see, going through previous year's GK questions is not that great because you're not going to get questions repeated. Okay, about GK questions will not repeat. For MCA also, MBA also, GK questions will not repeat. Therefore, there is no point in going through previous year's GK questions. But previous year's English questions make some sense. Questions might not repeat, but you will know a strategy how to mark the answers. That is certain words you will know. That is always helpful. Okay. GK is something you should not worry about now. Understood? No, Vinay? Don't worry about GK. With other sections, you can happily score confidently. You can score 70 marks. Under GK also, you will not make all 25 wrong, isn't it? Some of them will at least be correct. Even if you're just blindly marking all the 25 questions, at least 5, 6 will be correct. Worst scenario. So don't worry about GK. Okay. And now you know what should be your target score. Above 60, if you're getting, that is a decent one. And what if you get less than 50? Again, about the ranking part, we'll do another video. What if you get less than 50? Don't worry. You still have very good colleges to join, and then you can equip yourself so that you are employable. So these things I will tell you after the exam, what all things you have to keep in mind when you are studying. And coming to MCA, what do you want about MCA? Shashank, please tell about MCA. Huh? What do you want me to tell about MCA? I've already told about the questions. Part A and Part B also has GK and English question. This GK and English instructions that I'm giving is common for both MBA and MCA. So for MCA students, absolutely don't worry about GK. English, maybe if you have time, if your maths preparation is good enough, aptitude, logical reasoning, and maths is what you need to focus. Okay, MCA students focus on maths, QA, logical reasoning, data interpretation. This should be good marks. Huh? Okay, this should be a main focus. Okay, and GK and English should be your least focus. If you have done good amount of practice over here, then focus little bit on English. In how to do sentence correction, I have uploaded a video under members section. If you are one of the member, you will be knowing. There is one video on sentence correction, and then there is one video on antonyms and synonyms. Make sure you go through that at least here, and you can skip through the video. If you do not have 1.5 hour time to spend, you can skip through the video and watch even half an hour. It will be a little bit insightful. It will be informative. It will help you in guessing better. It will help you make your guesses better. And these are the topics that you have to focus more. And for these things, you can focus on previous year's questions. And under MCA, 60 plus is an awesome score. Okay, 60 plus is an awesome score. My students, where can we find membership? Kavya, you can go to the channel homepage. You have a join button. In that you have 2 membership plans. One is 89 rupees if you're preparing for MBA exam. Go for this 89 rupees plan. If you're preparing for MCA exam, go for 159 plan. And if you go for this 159 plan, you will also have access for this MBA based videos. Under this 89 rupees section, you have English videos. Under 159, you will have access to English videos plus few max videos. Okay, my students over the previous years, every year there will be 2-3 students who score above 60, and all of them have scored ranks in 100 to 200 ranking. Okay, Is it allowed to tick the answers in the question paper or solve sums beside the questions? Actually, they say that it is not allowed, but of course you can do it. In every question paper at the bottom, you will have some space. And in the end, you will have some sheet, 1 or 2 empty sheets you will have for doing your calculations. But you can tick the answers. It is not allowed in the instructions. They say you should not do it, but you can do it. You don't have any option. You can do it. Okay. And then mark. But as I told you, don't keep all the 80 questions marking to the end. Ashita, I don't know you're doing MBA or MCA exam, whether it is 100 questions or 80 questions, don't think you will mark it in the end. Immediately you mark it off, but you can tick it in the question paper. But it is not supposed to be done, but it is no problem. So see, 60 plus if you're getting, it's an awesome score. If you're getting 64, 65, you can get ranking between 100 to 200 and you'll be able to get very good colleges. My students, they have during offline coaching, just before COVID, the students who have scored, they have got ranking in this range and they have got a seat in RV college, and then some of them have joined BMS. All that is there. Okay, so it's very easy to get above 65. This time, assuming that I find that this time the students are more serious as compared to all the previous years, and there is some seriousness that has come among students. So if you are assuming that the competition is more this year also, 65 plus should be sufficient for you to get 100 to 200 ranking. And this is a very good ranking. Trust me, it's a very good ranking. 50 plus is still good score. Okay, because here you see there are questions that under aptitude, some of the questions of time and work, distance and speed, problems on trains. These questions under QA, it will come for 1 mark for MBA students. The same questions might come as a 2-mark question for MCA students. You have few lengthy questions, but it is worth spending that time because one question is correct, you're getting 2 marks, right? So focus more on this also, part B, because every question you're getting 2 marks there. So even though you're spending more time, uh, you're getting more marks. So solve previous year's question papers for MCA students, solve previous year's question papers and try to solve more questions of that category. Okay, there is no differentiation and integration. Solve only the questions from 2018 onwards. Okay, 2018 onwards. And for MCA students, 2018 question paper has a lot of questions from differentiation and integration. Please ignore that because that is not there in the syllabus. Until 2017, differentiation and integration was included in the syllabus. 2018 onwards, it is not there. Limits, differentiation and integration is not there. Only trigonometry, that too based on identities you will have. Inverse trigonometry also is not there for your syllabus. So, but only 2018 question paper of MCA has few questions on limits, differentiation and integration also. You can ignore that. You will not get questions based on that. Okay. So that is about the instructions. Do not carry smartwatch. Make sure you carry your own watch. You will have some, I have shared one PDF in your WhatsApp group. It is also available in KEA website. It is about bell timings. You know that, right? Bell will be done 20 minutes before, 15 minutes or 20 minutes before the exam. Read that instruction very carefully. Read that PDF very carefully. Don't miss that. I'm sure you would be knowing it, but still I will show you once. If you're already in our WhatsApp group, then you know that. Okay, you already know that. Suppose you're not in our WhatsApp group also, you can get it from this KA homepage and then go for this PGCET admissions. You have this bell timings. Okay, so go through this. Go through these instructions, read it very carefully, and then follow the instructions. They will, invigilator is supposed to give you time. I mean, give you instructions on after, this much time. Okay, there is one first bell, that is when you enter the exam hall. Exam starts after the 3rd bell. At least by 2nd bell, you should be in the exam hall. Okay, so you have some information to be filled in the OMR sheet about the registration number and all that. So you need to be before the time. So read these instructions carefully. I don't think I have to explain this. Read the instructions carefully. Be at least 20 minutes before. Be at least before the second bell. If possible, go there half an hour before and be in the exam hall at the first bell itself. At least before second bell, you have to enter the exam hall and then follow these instructions carefully. Third bell, fourth bell, and all that will be given. The invigilator will announce how much time is left, but don't wait for the invigilator to announce. Please carry watch and not any digital watch or smart watch. Carry a normal watch so that you can see the time and follow this timing that I had given, how many minutes for each section. You have to follow this timing very strictly to make sure that you're answering all the questions. Okay, any questions you have, you can ask. Any questions? Some of you have shared the pictures for certain questions in the WhatsApp. I will be posting the solutions for that. Okay. I'll post video solutions, and if I do not have time, at least I will solve it and send the picture of it in the WhatsApp group. Whatever questions you send me, I'll solve it and I'll send the picture in WhatsApp group so that everybody else will also know. So you can, along with you, even others will know the answer there. Even if we get 50, how much rank can we expect? Shashank, for MCA, if you're getting 50, you can expect rank in thousands. 1,100, 1,200, that is still a good rank for MCA. Okay. You will still get good colleges. You will get the colleges which are in top 10. But again, it is just a guessing. Okay, it depends on how many are writing the exam and how difficult is the question paper and all that. See, and the student, I don't know if he is watching right now. One student called me and said, "Ma'am, this year so many people have registered. Will I be able to get a rank in less than 1,000 and all that?" Take one session for max class. Yes, that's what I said, Ashwini. I'm taking a session at 11 o'clock right now. After another half an hour, we have a live session in which we are going to solve questions from previous year's papers. Yes, next class from 11. Okay. It is for MCA students only, and I'm not going to solve any aptitude or logical reasoning questions from MCA previous year's papers also, because yesterday's live session that we conducted in the afternoon, that has all aptitude logical reasoning questions, and so many aptitude questions I have already solved in the PGCET playlist. Kindly go through that. And it is topic wise videos. So any question, even in your MCA paper, if you find an aptitude question which you don't know how to solve, go to this playlist. Okay, go to this PGCET playlist in our channel, and you will get a video on that particular topic. Okay, see, you will get playlists. In this playlist, you have PGCET MBA MCA playlist. And then you have topic wise videos here. Okay, you have topic wise videos. Go through that and find out the answer. Okay, for aptitude questions. I am going to solve only max questions in this 11 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to solve only max questions in the class that I'm going to conduct at 11 o'clock. Any tips for aptitude? I have solved all these aptitude questions. I've given tips, and in this video also in the beginning I have told you, you will have to look at the options before you start solving. Many questions will be such that you will be able to get the answer without actual solving. By guessing you will get. There are some questions which you can solve by looking at the options. For which questions you should solve from options, which are the questions where options you can't use, all that I have explained in these videos. So what you can do is go through the previous year's question papers, those who are starting now. Go through the previous year's question papers, aptitude questions you pick from that. See if you're able to solve. If you're not able to solve, then you can watch the respective topic video from my YouTube channel. And I have solved all types of questions under every topic in those aptitude videos. Go through that. You will find the 2-3 different ways of solving a question. And instructions to candidates. What, Sharath? What instruction to candidates? Okay, fine. I'll do one more thing for max exam. Those who are members, okay, I will share Zoom session link in the members section. Okay, you people can join me in Zoom and ask the same live session that I'm going to conduct at 11 o'clock. Those who are already our members, any type wristwatch is not allowed. No, smartwatches are not allowed. This type of smartwatch is not allowed. Even if it's that wristband kind of watch is not allowed. Take a normal watch, analog watch. Okay, don't take digital watch which display numbers. Take the analog watch which has hour hand, minute hand. Take that. Okay, and so students can attend our Zoom link and they can ask doubts also. But anyway, it's going to be same because I will anyways look at your chat messages and I will be replying. Only thing is people who are watching live in YouTube will not be able to unmute and ask. That is the only thing. But you will still be able to text in the chat. And I'm constantly looking at my chat messages. I'm constantly looking at my chat messages and I'm responding. So those who are members will be able to join me in Zoom so that they can unmute and ask if they have any doubts. Others will still be able to watch live through YouTube. Okay, all MCA students join at 11 o'clock. We're going to have a live session. And those who want to attend Zoom, you have to join 2-3 minutes before itself. Okay. After I start the session, it'll be difficult for me to keep allowing the students. Okay, see you all in the next session. I hope there are no questions, but if you have questions, put it under the comment section or you can send a message to me in WhatsApp and kindly wait for reply. Some students know they send a message and within 2 minutes they call. Ma'am, I have messaged, you have not replied. So kindly understand there are how many candidates registered? I heard from a student that around 6,500 candidates have registered. I do not know the exact number. We will discuss about this after the exam is over. Okay. Fine. So after sending a message, kindly wait for the reply. Do not call immediately. You will get a reply within maybe half an hour. And also you can comment in the YouTube video also, or you can send a message in WhatsApp. Okay. Any questions you can ask? Otherwise, I'll end the session now. For MCA 6,000. What is that? 6,000? 15K. 15K, no, last 15K was the usual number. Last year, there was some 13,000 something. This time it is 16,000 is what I heard from one of the students. Manoj, 15K. Okay. One of the students said that 15,500 or something. So I was not sure whether it is 15,500 or 16,500. 15,000 is very less number. Trust me, you will be able to score. And all this 15,000 will not attend the exam. They have registered, but they might not attend the exam. Okay, then I will wind up the session and we'll meet again at 11 o'clock. And I'm telling this again, this is only for MCA students at 11 o'clock. We are not going to solve aptitude questions or logical reasoning questions from previous year MCA papers. From previous year MCA papers, we are going to solve only max questions. Okay. Okay. See you all in the next live session. Bye-bye.